Greetings, it's Iain from RTO here. Welcome to album ranking on a Tuesday, and today is one of mine. And this is an Australian pub rock band called Cold Chisel. Now, the reason I got into Cold Chisel is through their lead singer Jimmy Barnes. He has worked with Iain Gillan. There was like a little super group with Iain Gillan, Bob Daisley and John Lord, and there's a little thing I found on YouTube many years ago of when Deep Purple were in Australia back in 2001. Jimmy Barnes is involved there, and I liked his voice, and I just went and looked into the band, his work, and found out that he'd done solo stuff, and he was in a band called Cold Chisel. So they're actually formed in 1973 in Adelaide by Ian Moss and on guitar and vocals, and Steve Pretchwich on drums, Les Kaczmarek on bass, and Dan Walker on piano. Soon joined by Jimmy Barnes on lead vocals in 1975. They disbanded in 83, got back together, and in the period of time they have released 9 albums, and they're all very good. I really enjoy listening to Cold Chisel. So, coming in at number 9 is their second album from 1979. And it's called Breakfast at Sweethearts. So it's Jimmy Barnes on the vocals, Dan Walker on organ and piano, Ian Moss guitars, vocals, and he sings lead vocal on track 5, Steve Pretchwich on drums, Phil Small on bass guitar, Dave Blight on harmonica, and Tony Face on slide guitar. So the first track is called Conversations. Now this has got some wonderful harmonica work from, can't think of his name, David Blight, and you got that growly Jimmy Barnes voice. Excellent track. Merry-Go-Round, solid track. The bass line on this and Phil Small is really good. It's got a great little beef to it. Excellent track. Pity the sort of the guitars need a little bit more beef, but the bass guitar is excellent. And then we got Dresden. This is a cross between rock and country rock. It's got some nice keyboards in it. So the guitar playing is a little bit of that Mark Knopfler picking. It's a really nice guitar solo from Iain. Excellent track. Then we've got my favourite on here. It's called Goodbye Astrid Goodbye. Great opening riff. Love that. The piano work is fantastic. It's a great little rocker. And it's, I think that is the track that Iain actually sings on. No, it's the next one, Platzer, that Iain sings on. It's a nice track. It's a piano sort of thing with a great vocal. And then we got Shipping Steel, second favourite track on this album. One of that, a great groovy bass line, and what a vocal from Jimmy Barnes. Fantastic stuff. I'm going to roll you. Now, the drumming at the beginning of this from Steve is absolutely dynamite. Gets the track going. It's a great little rock track. Showtime. Again, we've got great funky little bass line, some nice guitar work, solid track. Title track, Breakfast at Sweethearts. It's got a bit of a reggae vibe. It's got some nice keyboard. And the last track, The Door, another solid track. Some great work here on the drums. Although this is at number 9, it's a cracking album. I think the production is a little bit at times, but and I think that's the only reason it's at number 8, because of some of the production's not as good, but the songs are cracking. So I'm going to give this one an RTO ranking of 6.6. Okay, coming in at number 8 then, we've got their 5th album from 1984, and it's called 20th Century, and it was their final album until they reformed in 1998. So it's Jimmy Barnes on lead vocals and guitar, Ian Moss on the lead guitar, and he sings lead vocals on Saturday Night and Jane L. Dan Walker on the organs, Ray Arnott's playing drums on here. on some of the tracks. Phil Small on the bass, Steve Pretchfish does a little bit of drumming as well. Additional personnel, we've got quite a few on here. We've got Megan Williams and Vanetta Fields on backing vocals, Billy Rogers on saxophone, John Hoffman plays a bit of trumpet, Buzz Bidstrup on percussion, David Blight as ever on the harmonica, and Vanetta Fields has some more backing vocals as well. So the first track is called Build This Love. It's got a bit of a disco beat to it. It's a bit strange, but it's got some nice guitar work. 20th Century, this is more like it. Gritty track. Love the bass on it. Absolutely killer track. Ghost Town is a little short track with some nice harmonica from David Blight. Killer stuff. Great drumming. Pretty it's only short. Saturday Night, probably one of the weaker tracks on here. I mean, I know Iain sings it, but it just lacks something. I don't know what it is. Painted Toll, another great vocal from Jimmy on this, and the harmonica's brilliant. No Sense, I quite like the little guitar work on this. Some excellent drumming again from Steve Presswich. Flame Trees, sort of a middle of a road track, but it's quite nice. It's got some nice tones on the guitars on that one. My favourite track on here is a track that opens up side 2, and it's called Only One. Good old-fashioned rocker. Great vocal from Jimmy Barnes. Hold Me Tight. Great track. Raucous. Great guitar. Drumming's great on that. Super track. Sing to Me. A little bluesy number. It's got a real solid bass line. Another fantastic vocal from Jimmy. The Game. It's again, it's okay. It's not the best track on the album. Then we got Jane L. I love this track. It's a bluesy number. Iain sings this, and he's a great singer on this. I love the keyboard stuff from Don Walker on it. And the last track is a little thing called Temptation. It's another great rocker track with some great riffs on it. Brilliant. Yeah, there's a couple of tracks on here that I'm not a big fan on, but I really like this sound. It's got a nice beat to it. It's a real solid album. So I'm going to give this an RTO ranking of 7 out of 10. Okay, coming in at number 7, we got that debut album released back in 1978. It's just called Cold Chisel. So you've got Jimmy Barnes, Iain Moss, Don Walker, Steve Pretswich, Phil Small and David Blight. Additionals on here, we've got Peter Walker acoustic guitar, Wilbur Wilde on saxophone, Joe Calamari on saxophone, Janice Slater and Carl Stubley on backing vocals. First track is called Juliet. Some great guitar work for me and Moss on this. Solid drumming from Steve. It's really good. And then we got a thing called Keith Shan. Different. It's mellow. It's got some great piano playing on here from Don. Excellent track. Home Broken Hearted. I think it's a very choir boys sort of sound. I like that sound. The guitar work is brilliant. Then we got my favourite track on here, and it's quite a long one, and it's called One Long Day. It's got a brilliant bass line on it, and that piano sort of hooks round that bass line. Another fine vocal, and I think this is Iain sings this. Then we got Northbound, the harmonica, brilliant. Dave Blight, very good harmonica playing, and throw in a great vocal from Jimmy, you've got an excellent track. Rosaline, great vocal from Jimmy Barnes. He's got such a gritty voice, and the power in it is brilliant. Then we got a track called Daskazreen, second favourite track on here. Some amazing guitar work for me, and especially that solo. It really is good. The drumming on it is really solid as well. Just How Many Times, the last track, second, one of the best tracks on here. Probably one of the better. The great vocal from Jimmy, the bluesy sound gives it sort of that lovely mellowed thing. Great debut album. I think the production on this is more natural than on the second album. It's just plug in and go. you know, session sort of stuff. No frills, straight down to it, and I'm going to give that an RTO ranking of 7.2. Okay, number 6 is the 6th album, released in 1988, so it's their first studio album in 14 years, and it's called The Last Wave of Summer. So Jimmy Barnes, as ever, on the vocals, and Ian Moss on guitars, Don Walker's on keyboards, Steve Presswich on drums, and Phil Small on the bass. And the first track they do on here is called Mr. Crown Prosecutor. Brilliant little track. What a fiery bass line from Phil. Steve's drumming, churning out that great rhythm. Brilliant track. The Things I Love in You, second favourite track from this album. What some riffs on this, and a fiery vocal from Jimmy Barnes. Baby's on Fire, favourite track on here. This is classic Cold Chisel. That real high-end guitar work, the great vocals, the solid bass line, excellent track. Way Down is the next track. Another really good track. I think the keyboard work is very subtle in this. It really is good, a great vocal. Then we get Ball at Versailles. Drumming from Steve is absolutely brilliant on this. And you've got Phil's bass line that sort of hooks around the drums. It's the real engine room of this track. Brilliant stuff. Then we have Yuzuka Girls. Once again, it's just dominated with some great drumming on this. It's got that sort of bubblegum pop drumming, very similar to Mick Tucker. It's got the same power as Mick Tucker. It's a great track. Love that track. He Can't Believe It's Over With You. Again, Stephen and Phil's chemistry is wonderful on this. They're the sort of the quintessential backbone of this band. Very, very good track. Angel in My Room. Love Don's work on the keyboards on this. Super vocal here from Jimmy. Never Stop Loving You. Harmony vocals on here. You've got, you know, they all put pitch in with a bit of backing vocals. Very, very good track. Red Sand. What do you say? The engine room of Cold Chisel on fire. That real groovy bass from Phil. Some wonderful drumming from Steve. Excellent track. Pretty Little Thing. Now this is a raw vocal from Jimmy. What a great singer is. He's got emotion. He's got goes all through it. It's a brilliant little track. So Hard. It's another little bluesy number. Some excellent guitar work here from Iain. Water Into Wine. Acoustic track. Very, very good. Very simple but powerful. The Last Wave of Summer. Signature drumming from Steve, and it's a jazzy drumming feel to it. It's a great vocal from Jimmy. What a track to end the album. 14 years without making record. Well, the band as a band, what a great comeback. Top quality. No bad tracks on this, so I'm going to give this an RTO ranking of 7.3. Okay, coming in at number 5, we've got the 9th album, came out in 2019, and it's Blood Moon, and it's their first album since 2015's The Perfect Game. So on here, it's Jimmy Barnes, Ian Moss, Don Walker, and Phil Small. On the drums, it's Charlie Drayton, and sadly Steve Presswich passed away in 2011, so they've got a new drummer. So getting the band back together again must have been hard. You know, they lost their drummer Steve in 2011. Must have been hard for them to get over, but they put this track together, and it sort of tells the story of how they done it. It's a lovely vocal from Jimmy, and it sort of doesn't mention Steve by name, but he gets a mention. It's really good. Land of Hope. After all these years, Jimmy Barnes is still singing great. Got a great guitar solo on it as well. Drive. Now Charlie, big shoes to fill. He steps up to the plate. does a great job, and you got Phil with that bass line. You know, they clicked straight, seem to have clicked straight away, and they're still doing that groove as Steve and Phil used to do. Killing Time. I love the beginning of this. That strong vocal from Jimmy, and it's my second favourite track. I Hit the World. Solid drumming again from Charlie. Love this. Boundary Street. Slower. Killer vocal. Moody. Buried Treasure. My favourite track on here. The backing vocals and the piano are the highlights, and some more solid drumming from Charlie. Accident Prone. Love Iain's guitar work on this. It is excellent. It's got some nice little riffs, a nice little solo. Someday. Catchy tune. Great beat. Great bass line. And You're So Beautiful. Excellent track to end the album. Great vocal, and the piano work from Don is fantastic. Fantastic. Really strong album. You know, you lose one of your band members, you get back on the, as I say, get back on the bus and get on with it. And Charlie's done a great job, and I do like listening to this album a lot. And I'm going to give this one an RTO ranking of 7.5. Okay, coming in at number 4 is their 8th album from 2015, and sadly this was the first album that didn't feature Steve. And I mean, Steve, as I said, died in January of 2011 of a brain tumour. Very sad. So it's Jimmy, Iain, Phil, Don and Charlie. So the first track is Alone for You. What a great opening line. That first line, waking up in the morning and feeling like shit. We've all done that. Great opening line, but it's a brilliant, brilliant track. The Back Room, great bit of boogie woogie piano here from Don, and this lovely little drum from Charlie. All Hell Broke Loosey. Horns. There's some horns on this, which adds to the atmosphere, and it's a great vocal from Jimmy. The Perfect Crime, simple arrangement. The vocals delivered brilliantly. Long Dark Road, solid track. Fine performance by everybody. Just got a groove to it. My favourite track on here is a little thing called 4 in the Morning. It's got a very 60s feel to it, especially that bass line from Phil. Brilliant. The Mansions, bluesy, the rough, raw vocal of Jimmy, the strong piano playing of Don. The Toast of Paris, shuffle, that bass sounds great. There's some great drumming on this as well. Shoot the Moon. I think this is one of Charlie's best drumming performances. What a brilliant, tight drummer he is. Mexican Wedding. It's got that sort of Mexican feel, especially some of that guitar. It's got that Olay feel to it. Then we get Lucky, another track that's got a very 60s vibe on it. Very, very good. Bus Station. Killer guitar solo for me on that one. Excellent track. Lost, the last track. Some nice singing on this. The backing vocals are suum. You know, another album, you know, Charlie coming up to the plate after, you know, Steve was a fantastic drummer. Stunning. This is actually his, you know, stunning debut from Charlie on this. So I'm going to give this an RTO ranking of 7.6. Okay, coming in at number 3. We got the third album from 1980, and it's called East. So it's Jimmy, Don, Iain, Phil, Steve, and on saxophone Joe Calamari. First track on here is called Standing on the Outside. Brilliant track. Steve's drumming, fantastic. You got different tones on this, and the guitar work is excellent. Never Before. This is a very jazzy drum from Steve. It's got a little bit of horns and the sax. Really gives it that sort of jazzy vibe. Some nice guitar touches as well. Choir Girl, a little bit different. It's very poppy, and it's probably one of the tracks that I am not keen on. Rising Sun, which is just pure rock and roll. Great vocals. It's just proper pub rock and roll. Brilliant stuff. My Baby. What a groove on this. The Phil and Steve show run this track. Everyone else just hooks onto it and gets into the groove. Excellent. Then we have Tomorrow. Don's piano work on this is fantastic. It's a little bit different, and he really shows what a great pianist he is. Cheap Wine. Love this. The growling Jimmy Barnes vocal. The piano work from Don. Fantastic. Steve putting out a great beat on that one. Best Kept Lies. It's got a reggae beat to this. It's got a lovely keyboard from Don as well. And then we have a track called Aita. It's got a little bit of guitar work that's excellent on that for me. Then my favourite track on this one is called Star Hotel. It reminds me of The Police. You've got Jimmy's high-pitched vocal on it, very sting, very good track. Four Walls. It's a nice little ballad. The piano is running a delicate touch on the guitar from Iain. Very gospelly. It's a very good track. My Turn to Cry. Excellent track. Fantastic drumming. Iain's guitar work is super. Okay, there's a couple of tracks on this one that they sort of experimented and did something different. But yeah, they are sort of the blips. But the rest of the tracks are fantastic. That's why it's at number 3. They're just solid tracks. So I shall give this an RTO ranking of 7.7. Okay, coming in at number 2. From 1982, the 4th album, Circus Animals. Jimmy, Iain, Don, Steve and Phil. First track is my favourite, and it's probably one of the best opening tracks Cold Chisel ever did, or do. It's called You Got Nothing I Want. What an opening track. Bold drum, beefy bass, and a brilliant vocal from Jimmy. Bow River. Great piano work from Don on this. Love listening to this one. Jimmy's vocals are real good. Forever Now, another fabulous track. You've got that lovely drum beat from Steve and Phil's great little bass groove. Some delicate touches on the guitar for me and makes it a great track. Taipan, I love Steve's drumming on this. It really is good. It's a very melodic sort of sound, and it's a fantastic vocal from Jimmy. Hound Dog, nothing to do with Elvis Presley. It's just a great rock track though. Don's piano is pure magic on this, and so is the vocal from Jimmy. Then we have Wild Colonial Boy. Iain's guitar work is fantastic. It's got a super solo, one of the best on the album. Oh dear, just hit something. Accidentally hit something and something come in front of the screen. Oh dear, can't be doing with that. Anyway, so where were we? Ah, yes, we were there. No Good For You, a lovely song. You've got Jimmy and Iain sort of singing on this, and they complement each other very well. Then we get a track called The Numbers Fall. Some super guitar work from Iain on this. And there's an lovely rich organ sound from Don. When the War Is Over, probably the bit of a filler song. It's not the best. It doesn't do much for me. It's sort of not very, bit disjointed in places. And the last track, Letter to Alan. This is, you think it's going to be a gentle track, and then all of a sudden it rocks up. It's got the best guitar solo on this album. What a killer track to end the album. Apart from that one track, the rest of it is just absolutely top drawer. Another fine album, so I'm going to give this an RTO ranking of 8 out of 10. So, my number 1 album from Cold Chisel is their 7th album that was released in 2012. and it's called No Plans. And this has got some of the final performances of Steve Pretz, which sadly, as I said, passed away in 2011 with a brain tumour. So you've got Steve plays drums on All For You, HQ45 Monroe, Missing a Girl, I've Got Things to Do, which he sings lead vocals on. The other tracks are drummed by Charlie Drayton, and then you've got Jimmy, Iain, Phil and Don. So the first track on here is a brilliant track called No Plans, the title track. It's got a brilliant drum piece from Charlie on this. What a solid track. Great vocal from Jimmy on that. It's a roaring vocal. Everybody. This has got classic Phil Small on this. It's got a groove on it as well. It's got some lovely keyboards from Don on that one as well. Then we got All For You. Favourite guitar solo on the album, and it features Steve on the drums. Now I'm not quite sure which was the last one he'd done, but it is pretty good. It's a solid performance, and you know he did everything up to the end, which was excellent. My favourite track on here is HQ454 Monroe. Favourite track on here, it's got a killer guitar solo, and it's probably it's a great drum from Steve. Brilliant stuff. Dead and Laid to Rest. It's a groovy little track with some great keyboard work from Don on that. Missing a Girl. This is a nice acoustic song. Very good vocal as well. Too Late. The vocal is brilliant on here. Charlie drums on this, and it is excellent. I've Got to Get Back on the Road. My second favourite track on this album. It's just got a great bass line from Phil and another Iain solo that is killer. Our Old Flame is just a good old-fashioned boogie rock and roll track. These sort of tracks we'll talk about when we look at Jimmy's solo stuff. It's one of them sort of tracks. Excellent. This Day. I mean, Jimmy's got one of them voices that really can tell a gritty story, and this makes his delivery makes that song so good. Summer Moon's up next. Fine vocal and that groovy bass line from Phil. And then Horizon. This is a nice combination between Iain and Phil. They play each other, the keyboard and the bass work well. And then the last track is I Got Things to Do. This is beautiful. It's written by Steve, and I think it's Steve just signing off. He knew he hadn't got much more time with us, so this is wonderful. It brings a tear to your eye. It's wonderful and a nice way to end the album. Apart from this being Steve's last performances with the band, it's also got some fine performances by the others. Charlie, sort of some of the first stuff he did with the band, it must have been a really awkward time and for the band, knowing that Steve was very ill, but they put out a great album, and shows what stalwarts these are. It's really good, and I think because they knew it was Steve's swan song, they probably put out so much energy into this. So I'm going to give this one an RTO ranking of 8.5. So there we go. There's a little bit of Cold Chisel. If you've never heard of them, go and check them out. If you like pub rock, you're going to love this. I've really enjoyed doing this. I love this band. Okay, coming up next is Retro Ranking, and it's another great band full of great entertaining songs, and that of course is the May Brothers. We know them as Sparks. So join me for that. Bye for now.